Once in a while, some people do come to me and say, "Hey, what is sleaze metal? Can you give me like an album or two?" And to really kind of describe, explain what is the epitome of sleaze metal. And that is going to be Spread Eagle's debut album. And we are going to be talking about that today.
Hey, Paul here from Paul Lydell's Scream Therapy, and you're watching the Crash Course Metal Show with Trevor Crash Knight.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome into the Crash Course Metal Show. We are going to be doing an album review today, and that is going to be to 1990's Spread Eagle's self-titled album. Now, this album was on MCA Records slash Geffen, that whole nine yards, whichever way you want to slice it. But, some people do have the acronym, or the saying for MCA Records as Musical Cemetery Association. And that is seems to be totally true because like every time you go back into the 80s or in the hair metal uh genre, there are a lot of bands that were signed to the MCA umbrella that were great and never got any kind of promotion, never got uh any kind of just backing, really, I would say. And bands like that are like Spread Eagle, obviously. And then you have Lillian Axe as well. Even Steelheart to a certain extent. Steelheart didn't have the random Angel Eyes ballad. They would have probably got swept under the rug as well. And there's plenty more bands that were off of MCA that just did not get any kind of love. And I don't know what the hell that was all about. But anyway, we're talking about Spread Eagle's debut album here. Great stuff. Like I said, this falls into the sleaze metal subgenre of hair metal. So the best way I can kind of describe this is like hair metal is one big umbrella, and then you have underneath it like glam, you have AOR, you have sleaze metal, you have a couple different ones as well. So like that is, some people say, Spread Eagle isn't hair metal, they're biker metal, or, I put them as what the epitome of sleaze metal. If someone says to me, "Hey, give me three albums that really sum up what sleaze is," this is going to be one of them. This might be the one, actually.
Am I wrong?
No.
Am I wrong?
Now, my familiarity with Spread Eagle was since I was in high school. I've known the singles, like the music videos and stuff like that. Switchblade Serenade, obviously, which is their biggest song, I would say. But like was never able to find a physical copy up until a couple years ago, and this is like some kind of Japanese reissue or what have you and stuff. Same thing with I also found around the same time the second album here, which that we'll talk about that in another video. But as far as this, like I just once I found it, I was like, okay, this is it. And then once I put this on, like, and just digest it fully as the album and not just like a couple singles, I was like, look the fuck out, guys. Like this album kicks serious ass. Like some people throw around the dangerous term when they talk about hair metal or like just like or a band or just an album or a song, like, oh, that band's dangerous or they had that dangerous sound. Like, I never really go into like that kind of definition. Like, it's music. I mean, it's what's dangerous, really. Like, I don't really get that connection to a lot of music. But if there is an album or a song, even, it's going to be Spread Eagle that is going to sound dangerous. And I will talk a little bit about why that is once we get to some of these tracks. But as far as the lineup here for this album, we have Ray West on vocals, and then we also have Rob DeLuca on bass. We have Tommy Gallo on drums, and then we also have Paul DiBartolo, I believe is how you say his name, on the guitars. Just a great four-piece. This album, though, too, and I will certainly be saying this probably throughout the track listings as well, but the production on here is perfect for a sleaze metal album. It sounds good, but it has that edge. It has that New York City edge, and that's where these boys are from, New York. So it has that feel, like you get your sleaze metal like Love Hate. On the LA side, you have Nasty Idols on the Swedish side of sleaze metal as well. But Spread Eagle has a different feel here. And you could even argue I wouldn't give anybody crap for saying like Love Hate is a very dangerous, like sleaze metal in general. It's just more on the dangerous side than say glam. Like Spread Eagle is not near Poison, is not near Trickster, is not near Nelson, anything like that. Not even near like Firehouse and like and even once you start getting like in the middle of the pack here, they are kind of on their own. The same thing with kind of like just sleaze metal in general. So because like you throw around like Faster Pussycat as sleaze, which I never really necessarily saw them as sleaze, just like a dirty glam. But then again, we're really splitting hairs here. What do you really call dirty glam? And you could argue sleaze metal, but um, I see Faster Pussycat closer to Poison than I see Faster Pussycat being closer to Spread Eagle. So take that for what you will. Now, uh, here we go with the dangerous kind of sound here, and is the opening track, Broken City. As soon as this little guitar riff comes in, it's not fast. This isn't not necessarily even a fast song. I would say it only gets the mid tempo at most, but just has this great intro. It's like when you hear this, you're like, fuck, look the fuck out, because I am gonna be walking through New York City here throughout this whole album, and I will probably get assaulted. I will probably get fucked up. That is kind of that's kind of like the dangerous feel that I get why people say certain bands and stuff are dangerous, but I don't get that with really anyone else except this album, and even to Spread Eagle's second album, I don't think has that. This album does. Like so that is kind of this is kind of like the only territory where I will say dangerous inside the hair metal um scene or genre, whatever you want to call it. But Broken City, absolutely amazing song. Absolutely. Top three song on the album. Great way to get into what the atmosphere of the album as well. Like you just know what you're in for once you get to this song. And it's great live as well. But here we go here. And the best way though I can kind of describe this album, if we're comparing it to like say thrash metal, that what that looks like. This album to sleaze metal is what Rain and Blood Slayer from Slayer is to thrash metal. Like this is very, very important to the sleaze metal uh genre. So take that for what you will. So let's move on here. We got back on the bitch. Fast pace. Now we're getting heavy. Now we're getting well. This whole album's heavy, but we're getting fast. The tempo's getting high. Ray's just screaming, and that's the thing. Like Ray brings the edge here. You know, Rob brings the edge on his bass tone, and that's the same thing for as his live as well. Like when I seen him live recently, Rob's bass was absolutely great. I mean, just the DeLuca's drum and beat, just the whole rhythm section there is just was absolutely on par, like exceeding par. We're shooting eagles here. We're not just going par. We're shooting eagles here. So very, very good stuff. No pun intended as far as Spread Eagle, shooting eagles. So next one here, next song we have is Switchblade Serenade. They did have a music video for this as well. Uh, this is the song that really kind of sums up the album. Has that great intro, just like an acoustic slow feel to it. After the first 45 minutes or 45 seconds to a minute, then we start getting into the song, and this is another one that is great live as well. They kind of do like a play into this song near the end of the set, as far as like you got Ray doing like a couple different mashups of different songs. You had him doing like Missing You from Rolling Stones. He did like Can't Don't Stop Till You Get Enough from Michael Jackson. And like one or two other songs that he just sings a couple pieces of, but it has that like same beat, and it was just awesome. Um, which reminds me, I will be putting some of the songs that I of Spread Eagle that I seen live on the channel here in a nice video. So look out for that. But now we could come on here to the fourth track, and that is Hot Sex. I was actually really bummed that they didn't do this live, because this is just dripping with attitude. Not that any of these other songs aren't dripping with attitude, but obviously when you're talking about sex, that is what Sleaze is. Like the real epitome of like sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and that is what this song is. And you know, even though I don't think I kind of get why they don't do it anymore because it is, I wouldn't say necessarily cheesy, but then again, you could argue like a lot of the stuff from the hair metal era was kind of cheesy. But then again, there was some great songwriting as well throughout the bands. Throughout the whole. I would say there would be better songwriting than not songwriting, but like I'll call out any of them that were not like Hot Sex runs circles over anything Twisted Sister ever wrote, ever wrote. As far as songwriting goes. So there's that. Um, Now we got here track number 5, Susie Suicide. Good song, but I would say probably the weakest song on the album. And that's kind of saying a lot because it's a good song and it's just you're stacking it up against everything else. And it's like, what are you going to do? Something has to go in kind of like last place here. And then you move on here, Dead of Winter. We're going back into that like slow to mid tempo, very atmospheric. Obviously, Dead of Winter is a perfect winter time song. It just feels cold, like in New York City, like you're on the sidewalks, like just great. It brings you into that atmosphere. Now we're moving on here, Scratch Like a Cat. This is a music video. I think they only had two music videos, possibly. They might have had three of these eyes as a music video as well. I can't really remember. But either way, Scratch Like a Cat, another fan favorite that a lot of people love, live and just in general. Good song, fast paced, in your face. Now moving on here, track number 8. We are seeing or we are hearing Through These Eyes, which is the closest that we're probably ever gonna get to a ballad on this album. And because like Spread Eagle does play a little bit in the balladry on Open to the Public, their second album, and even on Subway to the Stars, they play around with that a little bit. But as far as this album, this is the closest that we're gonna get, and there is still a heavy section in here in the song that is just not your typical powder ballad. We're not talking Damn Yankees. We're not talking Europe here. We're talking Spread Eagle. Okay, just be ready for it. Now moving on here, track number 9, we've got the title track. Great. I'm actually surprised they actually did this live, and it's just great. I just love the lyrics, just fun. It's this and Shotgun Kisses are the fun songs kind of on this album, if you will. Everything else kind of has like a very serious tone, mature tone to it. Like I said, like in New York City after 2 a.m., on a cold night, getting fucked up, well, whatever, like assaulted, like what have you. But then these last like couple, because track number 10 is 42nd Street, and that's just like a minute intro, or instrumental type deal. So I don't really need to talk about that as too much. So these last two full tracks are more on the fun side of things, and I think it works fine. I wouldn't necessarily want a whole album like this from Spread Eagle, if you will, but I think these putting it here at the end is a nice touch and still having fun, because we are still in hair metal here. So got to have the fun there too. So that is the 11 tracks, 10 full length tracks, I would say. But man, this is just a outstanding album. Outstanding album. Like I said, if I had to compare it or like give it some kind of comparison, it is Slayer's Rain and Blood, like how everyone holds that album up in the thrash metal subgenre. And I have to throw Spread Eagle up here in the sleaze sub part of hair metal. This album has to be there. This album has to be in top 3. It has to be in the top 3. I don't. You could throw your Fast Pussycat out. You could throw your Love Hate in there. You could throw your Nasty Idols, which I absolutely love. Nasty Idols. You could throw, whatever you want in that sub part of sleaze metal here. If you're not talking Spread Eagle, then you're totally missing the boat.
So I put two and two together there, hey, and decided that you're pissing me off.
I am gonna have to give this a easy 4 out of 5. Easy 4 out of 5. And some days it's 4.5. Quite honestly, you know what? I'll meet you guys halfway and say 4.25 out of 5. How about that? We'll do that because this album is just great. It has the atmosphere. It does it. It's not overly produced nearly at all what you would expect for 1990. But then again, we're in that sleaze era, or we're in the Sleaze era, and we are in the Sleaze subdivision here. So we're not expecting Nelson kind of production, obviously. So yes, I cannot recommend this album enough. This if you guys have seen my top 50 hair metal albums uh, videos, you will know where they go. But if you had not seen that yet, I won't give it away. So please check it out right here, and I will put the link in the description as well. But as far as live though goes, like it was absolutely awesome because I've seen them like a couple weeks ago now, and man, like they still have it. Like I said, the DeLucas on the drums and bass, like beautiful tone, absolutely kicked you right in the face. Awesome stuff. And then Jami, I believe, is the new guitar player. The past couple years certainly impressed me. Loved his soloing. He hit everything perfect, at least that I seen, and it's just awesome. Cool dude as well. The whole group of guys were awesome. So whenever they come back around, I am certainly going to be seeing them. And shout out to them. And as you guys can see, I did pick up the drumhead here, signed by the boys, and just absolutely awesome because they didn't have the shirt, they didn't have the tour shirt that I was hoping that they did. They sold out the past couple weeks, so was bummed out about that. And they didn't have like the debut shirt either that I seen as well, so was bummed out about that. And then I was gonna pick up the demos as well, the new release that they did with the demos. And but then I heard some other news possibly, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll hold off on that. And then I was like, I gotta get something though. So then I picked up the drumhead. So and now it's gonna be a part of the Crash Course background, and also obviously Rick's drumstick here. I got that actually from a buddy that went and saw them a couple, maybe like a year or so ago, and but yeah, shout out to AJ there. But definitely, guys, check out the debut album from 1990. If you want to know what sleaze metal is, here we go. And Spread Eagle likes to call themselves like street metal, but like I never really heard anyone say street metal before. But I mean, if they want to call themselves that, I mean, I totally get it because that is what it sounds like. But you know, on this side of cyberspace, I'm calling Spread Eagle Sleaze Metal Masters. So, yes, definitely, guys. I cannot talk enough about that. So, if you guys see Spread Eagle coming near to a town near you, please check them out. Very good live as well. And then we had a bunch of buddies. We had Anthony Esposito, original bass player from Lynch Mob, come in, and that was fun too. We had a couple buddies and a couple followers in the show as well. Met us out there. Very cool, as you can see from the pictures here. Probably I'm showing you guys. Just awesome, awesome stuff. Was a great show all the way around. Everyone was into it. Cal, check out his band as well. I'll put the links to him in the description as well. I'll put the links to Spread Eagle as well in the description. But man, Cal helped Ray out. I mean, Ray didn't need no help, but Cal, he's a vocalist as well, and he was like, Ray was like, "Hey, come on, jump in here with me," and he was doing, he was sounding like the record as well. So it was just a great overall night, and you guys will see some of that in a future video here in the next couple days of the Spread Eagle live show. And guys, until next time, stay out of that collateral damage, and remember, there are only 3 rules to sleaze metal. Number 1, don't give a shit. Number 2, have fun, and number 3, get fucking crazy.
Yeah, I wrote that. It's called I Want to Rock Your Body. And then in parentheses it says to the break of dawn.